Good morning. It's Tamara Rubin, Let's Safe Mama, Let'sSafeMama.com, Let's Safe Mama on Instagram, Pinterest, which I don't know how to use yet, and Facebook and Twitter. I'm doing these videos every morning, or I'm trying to, just to give you an update on all the stuff I have around me that I'm going to be testing and working on, because I can't write about everything as quickly as I would like to. And so I have a pile of things around me I want to share with you. I thought I'd start with a sip of coffee so I can show you in real time my the mug I've been using recently, my lead-free mug. It's like a what do you say, like a unicorn or a, I don't know, something really rare, whatever the good analogy is, to find a mug that's completely lead-free. Even the substrate on this appeared to be lead-free porcelain. And so this is what I've been using recently. There is a post on my blog, several with lead-free mug choices. Mugs have lots of lead. That's kind of a common theme. Starbucks mugs, all the mugs, lead. And if they don't have lead, they often have cadmium. So why don't I start out this morning with showing you a couple things that are on my agenda. So this is from the dollar store, and I will be reporting the blog, the test results of this on my blog soon. Available this year now in stores. Whoa, just blood knocked my laptop off the box I had it up on. So I'm not going to share the results of that right now, but stay tuned for that. This is something I knew would be really high lead. I don't know how much you cook or if you like garlic. I like garlic. I use a lot of garlic. This is it's a Spanish kitchenware garlic Jigger. I don't know what it's called. It's like a garlic. You're supposed to twist the garlic on it to remove the outside of the garlic from the inside of the garlic, and it's got these ridges that are rough. Well, I assumed these would be really high lead paint, and I was right. So if you have one of these, please don't use it. There is a company in Oregon that makes them, and they are in the lead safe range, and they have lead-free glaze on top of a substrate that is a clay that has just a little bit of lead, and so it's covered with lead-free glaze, so it's not a problem. But my concern is that not only are these things high lead glaze, and likely in the shiny outer coat, because the lead is what makes the outer coat so shiny in most cases, as well as in the colorants. But garlic is known to extract lead from things. So I don't know for sure. This is pure speculation. But if you're going to rub the garlic on here to get it out of its skin, you're likely possibly going to end up with an extra efficient way to extract lead from the dish. And these are also for like grinding spices, and I just think it's a bad idea across the board. But I will link in the comments after the video is done to the company that makes a lead safe version of these. So another thing I wanted to mention, these are on my list of things that people have sent me for testing. I don't have the results of these handy yet. This is Melissa and Doug. People ask me about Melissa and Doug all the time. I have absolutely no concerns about Melissa and Doug. There's a myth out there that there was a kid that was poisoned by a Melissa and Doug product. I have never seen that happen. I know there was a barium recall in Canada that I heard about. And there were concerns like over a decade ago. I have personally never once tested a Melissa and Doug product that was positive for any toxicants. That means lead, cadmium, mercury, arsenic, or antimony. Those are the 5 I mostly look for. And I don't expect these to be positive, but I don't know for sure. So don't buy them yet, and I'll let you know as soon as I have the answer to that. It does take me a really long time to test crayons, because what I do, well, these are going to be easier to test because they're square and they fill up the scope of the XRF, but for the smaller crayons, I have to melt them down and do multiple tests of them in situ, like as they come, and then I do another test of them melted down into a flat disc, and then I have to do like 3-minute tests repeated to confirm any toxicant levels. The thing I found, and you need to know, is that a lot of the natural crayons do have toxicants in them. So I'm finding the honey sticks crayons and other beeswax crayons have cadmium in some of the colors. And so I'll show some of those posts up there. I have a whole section of crayons. Obviously, Crayola is full of bad things. They don't claim to be natural. They follow the law. They are within all federal standards for toys. And my concern about crayons is that they should not be regulated like a toy. They should be regulated like a food, because children ingest them on a regular basis. I mean, yesterday I had a mom email me frantically because her child had eaten a crayon, and she's sending me that crayon to test. It was a brand I hadn't tested, and she was quite concerned. And yes, they can also have asbestos in them, but mostly I'm finding things like trace lead, mercury, and cadmium at levels in the 4, 5, 6 parts per million range, but food is toxic in the parts per billion range. So 4 parts per million of lead in a crayon translates to 4,000 parts per billion, and food is toxic in the 150 or 100 parts per billion range. So these crayons have like 4,000 parts per billion or 8,000 parts per billion of a toxicant, and I consider that a real concern. And I would like everyone to help push companies who make crayons to create a product that is safe to food, safe standards. And Solana, I think, is the one that I've tested that didn't have any of those 5, lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic, or antimony in any of the crayons. And I'll show the link to that up above too. Here's another crayon that someone sent me. I have a few different versions that people have sent me. This says Eco Kids, Natural Art Supplies, and it's 10 different colors. So also will take me a long time to do that post. So crayons are definitely an issue. My simple solution for that, and I have a simple solution for everything, is to not use crayons. I use colored pencils with my children, and they have the thick colored pencils, and it's not that the colored pencils may or may not have toxicants in them at those similar levels, but the children are much less likely to eat a colored pencil, right? It's sharp and there's wood. So anyway, so the next thing I want to show you is something that so many people have. This is from a friend in Brooklyn, whose kiddos were exposed to lead. She hasn't used these in a very long time. This is the first set of these that I have seen in like near mint condition, and so she gave them to me to give to my to use in my, trying to get them on the screen here, in my museum of lead. These are the Bunnykins Bowls. They have a little scene painted by this nun, I think is what it was. Each one has a different scene, and they're all very high lead, very unsafe. The mama who gave me her Bunnykins, this particular set, I didn't have a full set from my collection, so she gave me the full set, the plate, the cup, and the bowl. She told me that every year after she got these, when she was born in 1976, her parents only let her eat from them on her birthday. As a special treat, you can have the leaded dishes on your birthday. And actually, that's wonderful that they didn't let her have them on a regular basis. Because what I'm seeing is other moms born in 1976, 1970, 1965. I don't know exactly what year they started making these off the top of my head. But the other moms that have been using these, they're from their childhood, and they let their child eat out of them on a regular basis. And some of the levels on the center of these plates are like off the charts, like 30, 40, 50, 60,000 parts per million lead, when the amount of lead that's considered toxic in a newly manufactured item made today for use by children is anything 90 parts per million lead or over. So 30,000, 60,000 versus 90. These are definitely not safe. And when they have hot or acidic things in them, like oatmeal was a good one, or any kind of food like spaghetti with spaghetti sauce that has tomato acids, they definitely are a candidate for leaching. So I definitely wouldn't use these if you have them. I wouldn't hand them down to your children or grandchildren. And for me personally, I wouldn't keep them on the shelf as a curio. I wouldn't put them aside, because you don't want your great-grandchildren using them. You don't want someone handing these down, because it's just, it's not okay that someone in the future won't know how toxic they are. One thing you can do, and I've said this in a lot of my blog posts, is you can this is like a work of art, it really is a work of art. So you could frame this and put it in a shadow box, and on the back, maybe write in marker, this is painted with high lead glaze, do not use for food use purposes, or tape something to the back of it. But I like the idea of writing with permanent marker on the back. That way you don't have to worry about someone in the future using it, because it says really clearly that it has a high lead glaze. And then you can put a story on the back of a shadow box. So you put this in a shadow box, write on the back that it's toxic, and frame it in the shadow box and write a story like alongside about whose it was, what year they got it, who gave it to them, the history of the piece for your family. That's true in all china in that's high lead in terms of if you want to keep a piece. And if it's your great grandma's china, you can give a piece to everyone in the family as a Christmas present. It's a great Christmas present where you do the shadow boxing of it for everyone in the family with a story about a recent, grandmother who recently passed or something like that. So that's one Let's Save Mama approved use of the highly toxic vintage china. So then a couple other things that are going to be reported here on my blog shortly. This is a Mikasa plate, a new that I'm going to be reporting the results on the blog. So stay tuned. Check out leadsafemama.com probably later today to see the results of that one. And then here's another one that someone sent in to me that I will be reporting on. This is a Parker and Jane made in China plate. So that's everything that I have that I wanted to show you today. And hi, Lindsay. Please let me know what kind of things you'd like to see. I'm trying to actually use these videos to show you the things that I have that are in the queue, because I sometimes I can't get all of them up on the blog right away. And I have hundreds of things in the queue that I'm working on posting, and I have lots of other things I want to share. One thing I wanted to say before I go, it's already 11 minutes into a video here, is I think it's important for me to share, like, this is me. I don't wear makeup. And I pretty much don't wear makeup ever. Rarely I'll wear eyeliner and stuff like that. But when I do this, I take this whole mission pretty darn seriously. And hi, Diana. Diana just asked if I have tested IKEA dishes. Well, check out the blog, leadsafemama.com. There are dozens of posts of IKEA dishes. In the past, I've often said that IKEA dishes are a safe choice, and they are a safer choice than a lot of ones, especially if there's like the clear glass ones they have or the plain white glass ones they have that look like the Corelle dishes. But recently I found quite a few choices in the IKEA line that were manufactured in the last year and are positive for high levels of toxicants, including lead and cadmium. Anyway, so what I was saying, I can't remember if I finished my sentence. I don't use makeup, and I have lead-free dishes, and I'm stick with organic cotton choices. I have like organic cotton custom-made bras by this amazing company in Seattle. They're called Decent Exposures. I love them. I've been using their bras for forever, 24 years since I was pregnant with my oldest son. These choices to keep a non-toxic lifestyle are not expensive necessarily, especially if you simplify and don't have a lot of things and choose things that are going to last a long time. And so having a lead-free house, a lead-safe house, doesn't have to break the bank. And that's another post I'm working on, is revamping your leaded kitchen for $100 and how much you can buy for just $100. So hopefully I'll get that written soon too. All right, thanks for being here. Check out my blog if you haven't yet, leadsafemama.com, and on every single page, for people like Diana who are new here, every single page there's a search bar. On the home page, it's down on the bottom, and on every other page, it's on the right-hand side. And on the mobile version, it's at the top. You can put in anything, like you can put in IKEA, you can put in dishes, you can put in mugs, you can put in Starbucks, you can put in white china, you can put in clear glass, and you'll find all of the examples. There's over 2,000 posts on my blog that have the XRF test results of the things that I've tested. Hi, Katie. Thank you. Thanks for being here. And the most important thing you can do for me if you like my work and you appreciate what I'm doing, is share my blog posts, because that really helps spread the word. And I get about a penny for every view on my blog, and that helps cover the cost of what I do, and will eventually create enough to help sustain my family, which would be lovely. All right, thanks again for being here. Talk to you later, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.